Free and unfettered, I flow. Past narrows and waterfalls, I pour down broad valleys. Grit and gravel accompany me on my course for long distances, and many life forms call me home.
Gorgeous landscapes, and they were quite meditatively captured in these sweeping shots, both the aerial overhead and the immersed shots right into the waters, and getting to see the diverse ecosystem and the creatures that live in it and flow through it. I thought the narration of first person of the flow sources was really creative, and it was a great, playful, yet effective call to action through this, because we got to connect to the storytelling aspect of it and the emotional pathos aspect of it. And yeah, it was a great way to open up the dialogue of these flows of rivers and why we should care. And I thought the switch to the ultimate mission after was really well done. And I thought it was a good narrative choice. I also loved the music underneath to create those really emotional swells underneath the narration, and it mimicked the flows and the immensity of nature.
It's interesting because it's told from the water's perspective. It's a call to action to encourage the removal of various man-made obstacles that cause issues with the migration and water flow. And it's a very passionate plea, essentially, from the water to us as humans to do our part to assist with the migration of water flow. Um, it's just very interesting to phrase the VO from that various point of view. It just heightened the passion, um, and just heightened the urgency, I think, in the whole entire piece.
This poetic perspective of water speaking up for itself. We get this moment, the piece is called Flowing. So you think about what flows within you, what flows in your path, what flows in your way. And within the sequence, we see the lacking of the trail of the waterfalls. And then as human activity kind of coexists with this land, we kind of put our hands in to kind of try to make it a better place and be able to have that water flow and push through and move the rocks and the hurdles out of the way. But they do it in such a poetic and metaphorical way. And the way that they would have the water speak up for itself of, going over these hurdles and moving these rocks and pushing these rocks out of the way to be able to receive that flow. So it kind of shows that sometimes when we're finding these places of challenge and these places of needing to overcome hurdles, that we kind of need to pick up the heavy things and move them in order to bring a further path onto our place.
Talking about them being the life-giving arteries of the planet, that was one of my favorite lines. Just showing how much they contribute to life on Earth, ecosystems, animals, plants, and then how human intervention is stopping that. And I liked that perspective. I thought it did a great job of raising awareness for what dam removal Europe is doing, and how important it is to remove these obstacles from these rivers and help them to flow and help them to do what they were made to do on Earth. This documentary had some gorgeous visuals of these rivers and plant life and animal life, and it did a great job with these visuals of emphasizing how important these rivers are. I enjoyed this documentary a lot, and I thought it did a great job of raising awareness for dam removal and getting rid of human intervention in water and rivers.
Wow, I really love the perspective that you guys took with this as far as it feeling like the water was the one talking. My dream of more freedom and talking about how my flow is being impeded by these unnecessary structures and things. It was just really cool. Nice casting of the narrator too. I love the voice. Very nice music. Beautiful nature shots, great cinematography with this, and underwater shots were really cool. Great length, great script. It feels like a teaser for a feature, really. It does. Free me. Just the water perspective was such a unique and creative way to do this. And I love at the end the quote of including you, dear humans, because that was really my thought too. As I was thinking that, the narrator said it as if it was the water, and I was just like, that is such a great idea. And it was a cool like public service announcement times 100 or 1,000. It felt like a little bit of a teaser. I wanted to see more. So really well done.
It's just not only about the water, but also like a flow of life, like in nature, like how they live this life and how they have like some movement. So the visual in this documentary like does a big role in playing like the story, like the narrative, like moving it forward. And I feel like it's really well done to make like the transition, like the editing, like work on its own like function. It might not be very like informed like in this documentary, but it just show us like the fact of life that everybody everything like every like existing like living things like would need to have like the flow of life, and it's gonna correlate it like at some point, and we need to think about each other and preserve like each other to keep our life forward.
The narrator has a very soothing voice. This film gets your attention right away with the flowing waters, and I don't know if it's one river that they're showing or just a bunch of different ones. Along with the underseas, the first thing that got me under the river is it did look a little murky and dirty, but to take such a poetic voice and show what dams are doing, the man-made dams, what they've done, and that they really don't serve any purpose anymore. They, or if they ever serve purpose aside from greed. It's showing the important work of that people are actually doing to reverse dams. Rather than just protesting, they're actually putting their work out there and doing what they say. They're trying to raise awareness through art. Impactful art through a narrative that actually grabs the attention. It's they're not destroying anything, they're just showing to restore rivers and bodies of water. Because everything in it is right. Their man-made dams aren't really needed. Unless maybe it's to make water flow somewhere else. But they're not really sustainable in certain areas. And so this project is really doing a remarkable job. And this documentary really highlights it in the most impactful way through a soothing narrative voice.